So I just recently got into Forza Horizon 5, and it's probably the best racing game I think I've ever played. It's definitely the quintessential racing game for PC right now. But I did notice one problem with drag racing. If you play with manual transmission instead of automatic, you'll notice that the game doesn't show you the tachometer right away for the first few seconds of the race, which makes it difficult to time those first crucial gear shifts. I did some Googling and came across an app called DashPanel, which allows you to use your smartphone or tablet as a physical, dedicated tachometer and also provides you with shift lights so you can shift at the best possible time. In the course of setting up DashPanel, I found the instructions to be just a little confusing at first. I was eventually able to figure it out, but I figured if I was confused by the instructions, others might be confused as well. So I thought I'd make a video explaining exactly how to get DashPanel up and running. And as a bonus, you'll also get a little bit of networking knowledge in this video. Again, this is specifically for Forza Horizon 5 on PC, but it should generally apply to all Dash Panel compatible racing games on PC. And if you're on console, just throw it out and build yourself a proper gaming PC instead. So just some prerequisites here to get started. Obviously, first thing is you want to download and install Forza Horizon 5. You've probably already done this, but one thing to be aware of here is that if you use the Windows Store version of the game, there is a little bit extra complicated setup in order to get this to work with DashPanel. Speaking as someone who works in IT, try not to use the Windows Store version of anything gaming related if you can help it, especially if you like modding or doing any other cool stuff like this. If you're on Game Pass, I think you have to use the Microsoft Store version, but stick to Steam whenever possible. Next, you want to download and install DashPanel to your PC. The easiest way to do this is via Steam, but the DashPanel website does also have a standalone server you can download if you prefer. I prefer using Steam, so that's what we're doing here. Lastly, you want to go ahead and install DashPanel onto your mobile devices. Now, you probably figured out those first 3 steps on your own. It's pretty self-explanatory and common sense, but in order to proceed from here, it helps to first understand conceptually what we're doing and how DashPanel works. Forza, obviously, runs on your computer. The DashPanel server also runs on your computer. You may be confused by the term server, but really all a server is any computer or software on a computer that responds to requests for data. Anything that connects to a network can technically be a server. Your computer can be a server, your phone can be a server, your laptop, your home router, or you might even have a literal physical home server. Any device that is requesting data from a server is called a client. The DashPanel server running on your computer sends data to the DashPanel client running on your phone and allows you to see the game data in real time. So here's how to get it working. So go ahead and run DashPanel on your computer, launching it from Steam here. Steam will ask you which launch option you want. Go ahead and select server and then check always use this option. That will make sure that DashPanel defaults to running the server and you don't have to tell it every single time. So we can hit play on there. Now you'll see in the bottom right corner of the screen, I've got this DashPanel server notification telling me that the server has been started. So we'll go into the actual window for DashPanel. Now the window may appear automatically on your screen, or it may be minimized to the tray. In my case, it is minimized to the tray. So I'll come down here to the system tray and double click on DashPanel, and here we have the window for the DashPanel server. And you can see we've got the server log here. It confirms that this is the Steam version of DashPanel. You can see that the server has been started. Now, all of this here are IPv6 addresses, which is totally outside the scope of this video, so you can ignore that completely. If you know what IPv6 is, you probably don't need this tutorial. But this right here is the actual IPv4. Anytime you see an IP address, this is what you're used to dealing with. It's called IPv4. This is the IPv4 address for my computer currently, and this is not publicly accessible. That's why I'm not bothering to blur it out, because you can't reach it from the public anyway. Up here, we've got some launch options. You can do launch on startup, which will automatically run the DashPanel server when your computer boots up. You may want to leave that checked. Start minimized is what makes it go down to the system tray, which is why mine did not appear unless I came down here and clicked on it. It's because of that start minimized option. And then show notifications, that's what will tell you the little Windows 10 pop-up notification in the corner when the server is running. You can turn that on or off. That's totally personal preference, up to you. And then over here, we've got a port number, 9999. That will become important later, but we will come back to that momentarily. And then now that we've got this running, we will come over here to the Games tab. Now that we've clicked on the Games tab, you'll see that DashPanel supports a large number of racing games. If you play multiple racing games, you may want to come down here and click this Configure All Games button, and that will attempt to auto-config DashPanel for all possible racing games that it finds on your computer. But in our case, for Horizon 5, the auto-config actually does not work, so we're going to have to come in here and do things manually. And you'll notice again we have another port number mentioned, which I'll explain momentarily, and it does tell us where to go in Horizon 5 in order to configure these settings here, but it is important to understand why we're setting these settings. Every device that connects to a network has an IP address, which tells the network where to find your computer. It's kind of similar to a home address. Your home address can be found at 123 Main Street. Likewise, your computer can be found at 192.168.whatever. Port numbers, on the other hand, refer to specific applications and services that are running on a particular computer. If you think of an IP address in terms of physical address for an apartment building, let's say, the port number is like your apartment number. Which apartment in this building am I trying to reach? Some IP addresses have special meaning and function. Anytime you see anything like 192.168.1.whatever, or in my case it's actually 200.whatever, this IP address range is only reachable from inside your home network. Nobody on the internet can reach it, which is why I had no problem showing you the IP address earlier, because there's nothing you can do with it anyway. Your router is what manages the traffic between your own internal home network and the rest of the internet. If you ever see 127.0.0.1 specifically, this is a special address known as a loopback address. This basically means instead of connecting to some other computer somewhere else, connect back to myself. So essentially what this means is that Forza will send data from the game running on your PC to the DashPanel server, also running on your PC. So now that the DashPanel server is running on our computer, we have to tell Forza to connect to the server. So we'll go into Forza settings, come down here to HUD and gameplay, and we're going to scroll all the way down to the very bottom until we get to this data out option. We want to make sure that's toggled on. And then this is where we enter the same information that we saw in the DashPanel server right here. So I'll have these both on screen at the same time. So you can see we've got, let me scroll down, data out on. Data IP address should be 127.0.0.1, which again is telling Forza to connect to the exact same computer that Forza is already on, and that will go to the currently running DashPanel server. And then data IP port, we want to make sure that the port number matches. Now, you might have a different port number shown here, and that's totally fine. Mine is this 2077. You might have something totally different. The important thing is to make sure that whatever port number that the DashPanel server tells you to use, just make sure that same port number is used here, and you should be good to go. Once that is configured, you can go ahead and save your settings. We should be good for that part. Now the second half of this is to get the DashPanel server running on your computer to send the game data to the DashPanel client running on your phone. Because two different functions are being served here, we're actually dealing with two different port numbers. Forza sends data to DashPanel on your computer using port number 2777 or whatever port number it told you to use. And then the DashPanel server sends the data to the DashPanel client on your phone using port number 9999. Go ahead and open the DashPanel client on your phone. We'll open that here. All right, so I'm on the home tab here. You can see it says connected to server because I've already had this set up before. But if we go to the connection tab across the top, you'll see welcome to DashPanel. The server is initialized, and you'll see that it is connected to my local PC or my gaming PC. It's got the IP address there, And you can also see that it says ready for Forza data. So this means that it has definitely connected to the server on my computer and it's ready to start receiving game data, which means that the tachometer should start working. So now that we have this, we can go over to the default tab across the top here. And you can pick whatever scan you want to use for the tachometer. For simplicity's sake, I'm just going to use the default here. So I'll go ahead and tap that. But you can use whatever scan you like best. And we're going to go ahead and hit open. And now we should have a functional tachometer. Now, if you don't see this and you can't get the client on the phone to connect to the server on the computer, go ahead and start over from the beginning. Make sure you didn't miss any steps. Especially you want to make sure that the port numbers match up correctly. But if you're certain that you did everything correctly and you still can't get the connection to take place, you may have some deeper technical issue, possibly a network issue that is outside the scope of this video. However, I am an IT guy by trade, so if you're unable to get this successfully working, go ahead and drop a comment with your issue below, and I'll do my best to help you troubleshoot. So that may have been a lot of information, but hopefully you were able to follow along. And like I said, I am an IT guy by trade, so if you run into any issues, just feel free to drop a comment and I'll do my best to troubleshoot and help you get it working. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, subscribe, and share with your fellow racing enthusiasts. I'm trying to get to 1K subscribers so I can monetize, so if you wanted to subscribe, that would help me out a ton. Until next time.
أنا صامد رغم الجراح رغم الأعادي والسلاح وأظل أرفع رايتي وأنادي حي على الكفاح أنا صامد رغم الجراح رغم الأعادي والسلاح وأظل أرفع رايتي وأنادي